My name is Tim Hudson, and I have with me today Ty Osbaugh. We're Gensler's global leaders for the aviation practice, and we're excited to get a chance to share with you our vision of where we see airports going today, which is the new town square concept. Ty?
So I'll introduce it a little bit, but then I'm going to put Tim on the spot with some questions about why this is happening today. But, when we started thinking about what is a town square, it started to kind of take a path of being medieval, very European, and it's a place that we don't typically see in airports. So, Tim, why this thinking now? Why is this important?
Well, the thinking now is airports have an opportunity to redefine themselves because of the pandemic and getting people want to go back to the airports. And so here's a great opportunity in using, as you put it, the European idea or the town square model, where it really does create that place of gathering. And so people that live in these cities and these communities can be drawn to the airport to go take advantage of a fire pit or to go out and have a bite to eat, not necessarily because they have to leave, because they want to go there. It's a venue. It's an opportunity for people to go eat, to go have a drink, to go shop, to go sit in a fire pit and talk to people and get to know your neighbors or get to meet perfect strangers, maybe those that have just arrived to the airport. But it's just a great opportunity for gathering, and we can easily see that starting to take shape now.
Yeah, I think that as we've talked about it, making an airport a destination is a key for any airport to kind of diversify their revenue stream a little bit. And when you think about places like the Jewel in Singapore, it's now a draw. When you think about what Amsterdam does with their landside components, it's a place to be. And how do we make that somewhat now commonplace in U.S. airports is going to take some thinking, but some bold action on the part of all of us. So, we've been talking about this for quite a while. What's driving this now? Why is now the time that we think that this should be implemented?
Well, I think now is the time because there's two things at play right now. It's because of the effects of the pandemic that we've been talking about now for the past year. It's about social distancing. It's about people needing an opportunity to be able to go places but not necessarily feel crowded. And it's also an opportunity, though, for airports to redefine themselves as more than just a place that people drive to just to jump on a plane and leave. And so, the opportunity we see here is like, the airports like Munich, where they have created things like open courtyards or big festival areas, where they have a Christmas fair every year, or they have live music, or they bring in food trucks. So it's the passengers have a chance to experience it. People could take the train out there to go experience it. People that work there in offices and stay at hotels can experience it. So we see a great opportunity here in the United States to follow that model and be successful.
And again, I love the thinking on where this could go. We've kind of talked about airport cities as an industry for the past decade and a half, but those in some ways tended to be a little bit more logistics. They were cargo driven, and they were very not much of a city at the end of the day because they didn't have all those functions. Maybe this is an opportunity to really integrate cool spaces into the areas around the airport and make them a true extension of the city. I think that thinking is really going to start to take off here soon. So, in the first two descriptions that we've given, we've talked about landside and kind of the area in front of terminals. Do you see any other opportunities where this thinking could start to ooze into other spots of an airport?
Yeah, absolutely. As it oozes into the airport, you could see it, at the same type of an aesthetic or same type of a cultural, definition push into the terminal, because now you have an opportunity to appeal to those people that can't leave the terminal. Those people that might want to come back because they saw something really intriguing about that city, because there was a town square, there was something that gave somebody a feeling of culturally, here's what our city has to offer you, and here's what we want you to come back to see. So you have fire pits like we did in Aspen, Colorado, where people sit around fire pits in the terminal. They can actually just converse, work on their laptops, they can eat, they can drink. They can just take a break, but it's a place that draws people to it, and it really shows people, here's what we have to offer in this city. It makes them want to come back. And so that's where I see that really playing hard here now in the airports today.
And I think the added value that we're going to start to see is outdoor spaces becoming the new norm in airports, especially on the air side. COVID in some ways is going to exacerbate the need for this, the need to spread out a little bit, the need to find spaces where you can get a breath of fresh air. well, why not start to carve up some of our terminals that are aged? We can now start to create courtyards within them that give people an amenity to go outside and get a breath of fresh air. Maybe there's a dog walk or something else that's there that's now kind of a new normal that we're going to start to see. So I think that these are some things that we've been thinking about. Obviously, the industry's changing a lot. Our viewpoint is going to change with that as we start to kind of mesh and really gather steam around these ideas.